Speaking of the playoffs continuing in New York, New York, big city of dreams, the Garden and the Knicks, an opportunity to go up 2-0 over Atlanta. C.J. McCollum and the Hawks signed up for 48. There's Brunson burying the three. Knicks up 6. McCollum, this man is professional in everything he does, and he cuts the lead to 3. Mikal Bridges, little floater on the baseline just before the buzzer, pushes the lead to 7 at half. Knicks up 7. Jose Alvarado. Karl Anthony Towns down the lane with a finger roll. Next, Knicks possession. The Cat. That flat-footed J from distance. He's got 18. The Knicks up a dozen. Hawks on the other end. Tony Bradley gets called for an offensive foul on Alvarado. McCollum and Alvarado has something to say to one another. Knicks up a dozen heading into the final frame. 6-point game. Brunson, float game. It is. The Knicks are up 8. Few possessions later. McCollum, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, corner 3. 6-point deficit, trimmed to 3. Knicks on the other end. And Jonathan Kuminga with a big block of Brunson. On the other end, that's Jalen Johnson, cutting the lead to just 1. Couple of plays later, here's when McCollum takes over with a handle down the lane, off glass. 1-point lead for Atlanta. They get a stop on the other end. Here comes McCollum again. Floater is good. And the lead is 3 for Atlanta. But right back at you on the other end. Brunson, all 3 of these were tied at 103. Under 40 to go in the game. McCollum, fancy little bit of shoulder to create the space, then the baseline fadeaway. That's a high degree of difficulty shot. 2-point lead. Then an amazing defensive sequence. They get the rip. Don't need it, but get it. It's Johnson with a throwdown, and the lead is pushed to 4. Game over? Not quite, because Brunson comes off the screen, rattles around and down. It's a 1-point game. They foul McCollum off the inbound. 5.6. I said professional in everything he does. This is not a good. This is a great free throw shooter. But he missed the first and then short arms the second. There's no timeout. That graphic, I think, had some people fooled. New York didn't have a timeout. Bridges settles for the J. It's no good. McCollum's 32. Push Atlanta to the 1-point win.
I love it. It's why we play the game. It's fun being in, opposing arenas, and when the buzzer sounds and it's quiet and you walk off the court, I think there's a level of, mutual respect. Like it was a tough game against a good team on their home floor, and they're supposed to be passionate, and I think they do a great job of showing up consistently throughout the year.
Do you kind of notice, are they taking their foot off the gas a little bit? Do you notice a change in that momentum, or do you guys just play the same way regardless?
I think we just go out there and hoop, man. The moment is what it is. It's a playoff series. You probably picked us to lose in 5 or 6, I would imagine, just like everybody else. So I would say for us, it's just about going out there and hooping.
Knicks up a dozen heading into the 4th, tying the largest blown lead in a scenario in the franchise's playoff history. It happened in Game 5 of the '94 Conference Finals against the Pacers. That was when Reggie dropped 25 and let Spike know about it. Here's some thoughts on this Knicks squad and what happened tonight.
Obviously, I can control what I can control, and so poor decision making on my part, and a couple possessions they played great defense, knocked the ball out of my hands. We just had to we got to play better with the lead. That's twice in the 4th quarter now that we've done that.
This is a game we should have won. In the playoffs, you can't give away games. So, we all got to make sure we are locked in, watch the film of it, get better, and, go in and battle for Game 3.
Joined now by Iman Shumpert, a man who knows that building well. The Garden's got a 12-point lead. You got 12 minutes on the clock. The Knicks can never coast to a victory in the playoffs, but I'm interested, Iman, in what most impressed you from the Atlanta perspective, and then what's most disappointing from the Knicks. Let's start with Atlanta and give some love first. What caught your eye that you were most impressed by?
Jonathan Kuminga came off the bench and played really well for them. They really started finding a bounce. It seemed like the Knicks were going to be able to fend them off the whole night, but Atlanta just kept coming. This is the same team that everybody raved about. and said it was dangerous to have them in the playoffs. I think the Knicks had chances to put them away. I know everybody felt like they should have called timeout at the end. They didn't have any. But the Knicks should have had this win, but it doesn't surprise me that Atlanta snuck one at all. Atlanta is that team that was dangerous as we thought. Tough one for the Knicks. It's a heartbreaker, but this is the playoffs. The Knicks were built for this, and they understand this. They'll have to go and steal one in Atlanta.
I was impressed by Atlanta's defense, and I get that New York at times can get caught watching Jalen do his thing. That's a lot of how the offense cooks, right? But I felt like Atlanta's defense, it's about want to, and they guarded ferociously. I was really impressed by them on that end. I'm just interested, did New York settle too much? I mean, is that part of what happened? Because I'm giving credit to Atlanta, but maybe you saw something different.
I don't think that they settled. I think that New York played how New York plays. When we see Jalen Brunson sometimes take the opportunity to get a little bit more aggressive throughout the game, it's not something that raises panic in the eyes of a Knicks fan. I think it's something that we're quite used to, especially when in the playoffs. So I don't mind that. What I did mind was the level of drop-off that seemed like happened for the Knicks defensively. I thought C.J. McCullough got going a little bit too much, had a little bit too much freedom of movement with the ball. And I thought that in the game one, that they pressured them way better and kept them outside of the paint way better. I didn't think that the Knicks controlled the game defensively at all.
Maybe we're starting the script we saw last year. We're losing the guard and take the game on the road. They're going to need to as the series will shift to Atlanta. You mentioned defense, Iman. Let's pivot to defense and acknowledge the man that won the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. The first ever to win it unanimously. Victor Wembanyama, the 22-year-old, unanimous Defensive Player of the Year award winner, and he is the youngest Defensive Player of the Year winner in the league's history. And Iman, I think back to my guy Swag, Marcus Spears, who does football with me. He was front row for game one, Dallas. And I texted him, I said, Swag, what are you seeing? And my guy Swag said, this man's 7'17" when he saw him in person. His ability to impact everything is mind-boggling to me, Iman. I felt like we saw it on both ends in game one against Portland. What is this guy capable of doing to impact both ends of the floor from what you've seen?
Well, there's really no ceiling for Victor Wembanyama. When you see him, he's always going to do something that you've never seen. He's always standing at the stature that you've never had to deal with. We're watching players have to reinvent the mid-range game as we once had it. He changes getting to the rim. He discourages certain drives. So you really have to get in that in-between game and live in the lost art of the mid-range. Doing stuff like that means that he is, again, changing basketball, which is what Steph Curry did when he started the whole count-by-three situation. And then James Harden and Houston playing the analytics and showing you that DNA. Now it's shifting back to something that we once knew. So congrats to Victor Wembanyama for winning that, but also for bringing that attitude that somebody wants this award, and it's okay to chase that.
You know what's caught my eye, Iman? Watching a guy like Drew Holiday, who's seen it all, right? And creating, not a blow-by, but getting past his man, and then all of a sudden you're in that space where he's got all sorts of options, but he has no option because Wembanyama, with his wingspan and with his presence, eliminates all of it. I just can't remember seeing someone who single-handedly can F up everything you're trying to do on offense. Can you?
No, not at all. Probably one of those guys that comes, it's a generational thing.
Right.
You're not gonna get many guys that are able to do that. Change a shot, influence a shot, and then discourage a drive. Get out of here, man. It's crazy.
I enjoy watching you in all the different programs. I appreciate you sharing a little time with me late night. Playoffs just getting started. Hopefully we can run it back somewhere down the road, all right?
I got you. Whenever you need me, hit me.
As we continue on SportsCenter, Cleveland cruises behind huge nights from All-Stars Harden and Mitchell. Is the Steve Kerr